Morning, everybody. Bit of a serious post this morning, and I'm only doing it because something happened on here the other night with Sharryn Brotherton and Laura Louise with the big ears. And to be honest, they said something, and I thought that it went unnoticed. I didn't unnotice it, obviously. But anyway, let's get on with it. It's serious. The post they made the other day about she's not Kerry Brown, she's Kerry Holiday, she's using the wrong name, whatever. That information was gathered by a press release from 20 years ago when I was run over as a police officer. And I was Kerry Holiday. Anyway, I'm posting a picture here of PC Andrew Harper. Now, anybody who is anybody will know who he is. He was killed in the execution of his duty. I hate talking about this, but I feel like I've got to mention it now that I've had messages saying that people did notice what was said. PC Harper was stopping a car, like I say, in the execution of his duty, and he was killed. The car didn't stop, and that's the end of, well, it's not the end of the story beyond him, but for him, that was the end of his story. In the line of duty, over in a second, you know. Anyway, a very similar thing happened to me. I was at work. I don't talk about this incident, but I'm forced to in this occasion. And I'll cut it short. But I was run over. And I wasn't actually run over. I was scooped onto the bonnet of a car, and I eventually fell off when it was going 40 miles an hour. At the time, I had a head injury, but long term, I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress. The person at the time, like I say, cutting it short, I've got a bloody headache today. He was arrested for attempted murder. He eventually went to court and was charged with, let's say, GBH with intent. I don't want to get too technical about the offences. We had one trial which came back as a hung jury. So there was a retrial, and eventually he was found guilty of GBH, and he went to prison for 2.5 years. He is a big-time criminal. He's in prison now for quite a nasty kidnapping. And I can't see that he'll see the light of day for a long time. But as far as I was concerned, he was eventually convicted, and he did go to prison. Now, on a live the other day, like I say, when these two fucking idiots were going on about my name, like I say, they were obviously referring to this press release, because at the time, Sharryn made a comment about 16 stitches, which is what I had. I had metal pins in my head because of the head injury, and laughed. And also made a comment about the fact that someone wasn't convicted. Anyway, how low can someone go? You know, that incident that I'm forced to talk about, but I don't talk about. My closest friends don't know. I don't have this conversation with people that I've known for 1,000,000 years. I don't talk about it. But I was a single parent at the time. I had a baby that was 9 months old. You know, my other little boy was only 3 at the time when it happened. And it was over 20 years ago. And I still am affected on a daily basis by this incident. But, you know, it was a fine line between this story or my story. But she did take the piss. I just think, like, how low can that woman go? Anyway, after this incident, I never went back to work. That was the end of my career. And like you've seen me on here, I'm generally, I'll try and be as positive as I can. I try and be as happy as I can in life. But this is just one thing that I can't see the funny side of. And then also later that year, I found out I had cancer. So it wasn't a great year all round. But I just cannot see the funny side of this incident. There's nothing. But anyway, I don't know what I'm really talking about. But like I say, I've had several messages that, when I thought that people hadn't picked up on what she said, and they actually did. And I've had several messages of support, really, saying, like, you know, what sort of woman is she? So it's really early this morning, but I did think I'd just have a post. Poor old Andrew Harper. Not even poor him, poor his family that he left behind. But, you know, if someone can take the piss out of that and you're supporting them, I need to give your head a wobble.